Greetings, Patrick here. 8 questions with, and welcome to Friday night. It's our second show since our vacation has ended. We will be heading down to Australia this evening. That's right. We have not been to Australia in quite a while, but we're going there today to meet actress Jamal. And I think I'm saying her name right. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Um, so she will be here in about 15 minutes or so. She is a very vivacious young actress. She has over 15 credits to her name. She has three more movies coming up, and she's going to make the move from Australia to Los Angeles. Wow, what a time to do that, right? I mean, whew, man, I don't know if I would ever. I don't know if I would recommend anybody moving to LA right now in show business because of the way the fires were. And hey, Corey, how are you? How are you? Good show today. Good show today. I was Caspering for the most part, but I was listening to your community chat. That was a lot of fun. And Anthony is here. He is still at 2008, but he will break out of there soon. Uh, but as far as actors moving from all over to come to LA, it seems like a lot of people from LA are actually leaving LA now. It's going to take decades for what has happened to be recovered, and that's not even counting the spring yet. Just wait till the spring comes when the rains come, and yeah, we're going to see a lot of landslides as well. Once that happens down Pacific Coast Highway, that's just going to happen. It happens every year. So tremendously sad thing that happened to Los Angeles. Just reading about some of the stories that happened there, and of course you got your hey Mike, how are you? How are you? And there is our hero of the moment, Mike, who saved us from investing a quarter in 90 minutes of our time. And what was it, hardly pregnant or hardly, yeah, whatever it was. It was dog meat. Amy Shermer. She is just. I don't know why they keep trying to make her into a movie personality. She just not have the chops for it. She just doesn't. I mean, nobody really likes her, and you gotta. And if you're a comedian, if you're a comic, you gotta be liked. And I don't not know that many people. I don't know how many people really like her anymore. I guess once a while she was pretty funny, but I guess she got caught red-handed stealing jokes, which of itself is an oxymoron because it's like, how do you steal a joke from somebody? I mean, everybody, especially comedians, being stand-up comedians, they're talking topical subjects. How could you steal from that? Hey, how about that LA fire? Hey, I just said that 20 minutes ago. You must be stealing my jokes. Lord. Um, Unfortunately, so many bad movies. That's right. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm all about bad movies. I sort of like doing bad movies because all the movies that I watch, all the movies that I watch, I mean, they're all top drawer. It's like eating, it's like eating top of the food chain every day. You don't ever see me review bad movies or cheesy movies or anything like that. I mean, everything I do is all quality. So I like to get my teeth into some bad movies myself. Um, actually, I actually got away with saying that with a straight face. I couldn't say that with a straight face. I have so many fun movies that I watch. So does Mike. So does Ryan. Ryan also does great reviews. Mike does great reviews. I already know how the movie's going to go just by their thumbnail. It's like if it's smiling on their face and I'm happy. But if I see one of these, like, oh shit, then I already know how the movie's going to be, and I already know, like, wow, I just saved myself 25 cents and 90 minutes of my time thanks to Ryan and Mike, and I appreciate that. Uh, I am watching tonight. We will be speaking of fun movies, of action movies. We will be back here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, as we will be welcoming in Michael Cassie, film director Michael Cassie, screenwriter Michael Cassie, who wrote a great movie called Hangman. He also did Hunter's Moon, and now he has a new movie coming out called No Tears in Hell, which I've seen, and that's a good movie. If you're a horror movie, if you're a horror fan, and you like that dark, extreme horror, this is the movie for you for sure. It is brutal. It is based on a true story. And it's actually a true story that I actually heard of, but I didn't. I mean, I heard of the I heard, but I didn't know the details, so I went into it. Um, and most impressive job. It has a great cast to it. The guy who plays the mean guy in it, man, I would not want to meet that guy in an alleyway. Let's see. Anthony says he's got Captain America Brave New World tickets for Friday. That's awesome. Can't wait to see what Anthony Mackie does with it. Hyped, hyped for that movie. I think it's going to be amazing. I think Marvel's going to have a good year. I think Captain America is going to do really well, and I really do believe that Thunderbolts is really going to be cool as well. Even though it's not canon, it's sort of like a Guardian to the Galaxy, where it's not the original team, and it hurts it a little bit. To tell you the truth, it hurts it because the way that the Thunderbolts were actually created was pretty damn wicked. Um, I am picking. Actually, I am taking the Chiefs in this. I can't stand the Eagles. I can't stand their fans. I'm going to go ahead and take the. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs. Um, see, yeah, Soto going to the Mets. I think. I think the Yankees are going to have a fine year. I think they're going to be fine. Um, uh, uh, you know, Bellinger, if he could just hit 270, he'd be fine. Um, if Judge can cut down on the strikeouts, that would be good as well. But I think the Yankees would be fine. They have a pretty good pretty good pitching. If Darren Williams can stay healthy, him and Luke Weaver, I don't think it's I don't think it would be. I don't think necessarily think one needs to be the man. I think you could run them both out there, and they both could get 15, 20 saves apiece. That would be all right with me. Um, Dodgers getting every major. Yeah, that's ESPN money too. Yeah, yeah, he's good when he's healthy. He's good when he's healthy. If he's healthy, he's gonna be all right. But it all depends how much he wants to be healthy. He's sort of like an Anthony Rodon. Anthony Rodon wants the money, but he doesn't want to work for it. He doesn't want to work for it. He doesn't. He doesn't work through any injuries. He doesn't really do anything to. Yeah. He's just not very good. Hey Sue, how are you? How are you? Glad you're doing well. Glad you're doing well. So yeah, this will be J Ma as our guest. If you saw the thumbnail before I started the show, you can see that she is a lovely lass. She is actually I believe she is Taiwanese and Australian. And she's been launching her career in Australia, but now she's going to be moving over to the States. Now, I'm saying to the States because I'm not sure if it's a really good idea to pin your hopes on Los Angeles. I don't necessarily think that'll be. I don't. I just for some, I just don't think that's a. I don't know. We'll ask her. We'll ask her where she's going from. Um, it'll be very interesting to see because right now, the Hollywood is just like, what a mess. What a complete mess. Um, I'm wondering if it might have been a better idea to move to Georgia. Georgia, you have New Orleans, you have Dallas, you have of course, you have Atlanta, you have Kentucky. I mean, you have Ohio's not that far away. You're more. I think Georgia is more of a central hub for actors, if you ask me. Yeah, she's beautiful. She's stunning. No doubt about that. Yeah. Um, oh, and let me finish about tomorrow. I've completely see. I get see a pretty girl just distracted me. So tomorrow night, with I mentioned Michael Cassie will be here. He and I will end up watching a movie called One Ranger. That was written and directed by Jesse V. Johnson, who is a master of action. So we're going to be here watching that movie and talking about it. The movie stars Thomas Jane and John Malkovich. Michael has worked with Thomas Jane before. He worked with him in Hunter's Moon. And the music in the movie is done by Sam McMurray, or Sam Murray, who also we've had onto the show as well. He did the score for Joe Cornette's movies, Joe Cornette and Alexander Nevsky. He's done the score for that. So it's gonna be a really fun night tomorrow night. I had not seen the movie. I guess I should probably see it before we talk about it, so I can make some notes. So I'll probably end up doing that after I get off of here tonight. Um, yeah, it was brutally cold here last night. I had left my trash can out front, and I went to go get it, and I couldn't get my trash can because I didn't the cement was just a sheet of ice, and yeah, so there's just no way. I had to wait till the day and wait for it to warm up a little bit, and then I was able to go get it. Man, it was cold last night. Wow, it was wicked. I was just glad that we had wind last night here, and I was just glad our cans are really heavy, so they don't really blow anywhere. They can fall down, but they can't really go anywhere because they're too heavy. So I was glad I didn't have to chase it down the street. All right, let me tell you what's coming up next week. Tomorrow night, of course, is me and Michael Cassie. And then next Tuesday, the 11th, we have a novelist Christopher Farnsworth will be with us. His new book, Buried Secrets, is coming out, I believe, next Tuesday. I try to get a copy of that at the library. They haven't ordered in, but it hasn't been there yet. So I'm going to be seeing it if it's there on Tuesday, and if it is, then I will be picking it up. I'll be borrowing it for a fast read. And then Christopher will be here, and he wrote for Robert from the estate of Robert B. Parker. He was asked to write a book in the Jesse Stone series. I'm hopefully everybody will go out there and support that. What's really exciting is that people are reading a lot, and Barnes and Noble are planning to open 60 brand new stores. Uh, just when just every time you look at businesses, they're always closing. It's so rare to see a retail store actually opening. Um, so that will be very exciting. But Christopher Farnsworth, he got a Jesse Stone novel that he wrote. Looking forward to it. Of course, Christopher also wrote one of the best vampires series I've ever read, called The President's Vampire, which is excellent. When I see people in the community talk about original movies and original ideas and original thought, man, I tell you what, I keep thinking about that. I keep thinking, well, why don't they go ahead and grab the President's Vampire? Because that's a damn good original story. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a great story. Nathaniel Cade is a very, very interesting character. Very, very interesting character. But he'll be here with us on Tuesday, on the 11th at 8 o'clock. Um, on the 12th, I'll be joined by Kenny Jones from Kenny, Jim, and Sean Talk Movies, and he will be here with us co-hosting a young podcaster, Josh Bell. He's just getting his podcast up. I'm going to be listening to it this tonight for White Noise because he was covering Miss Peregrine and Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children. He was covering that, and I said that's really interesting because I have that movie, but I've never watched it. I know it has Steve. I know it has Eva Green in it. In her, it looks like she's in her Golden Compass mode. Um, if you ever want to see Eva Green at her top, top, it isn't Casino Royale. It's the Golden Kingdom, or the Golden Compass. She's badass in that movie. That movie is wickedly cool, and Nicole Kidman played a villain in that, and she is. It was like a role reversal in the Golden Compass. Eva Green always pretty much always plays the bad person, the femme fatale. She did that with Casino Royale. She also did that with uh, uh, Sin City, a Dame to Die For. She played the main villainess of that as well. Um, and then Nicole Kidman, you always know her as playing the basically the goody two shoes. But they switched around on the roles in the Golden Compass, and whoever did that was smart. Let's see. Let's see. So we talking with Josh on the 12th. On the 13th, we see the return of Mitch Lang will be here with us. Our favorite Louisiana filmmaker will be here, and he will be talking. We'll be talking about up. Our guest is here. You know what that means? The doorbell rang. So please help me welcome in actress. I believe. I hope I'm saying this right. J Ma. So here we go.
Hi.
Greetings. Hi.
Oh,
How are you?
good. How are you?
Good. Good. Welcome. It's been a while since we've had a guest from Australia.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
nice.
We've had a few before, but it's been a long time.
Has
So,
it?
yeah, yeah, it's been a long time. So I'm glad to see you here. What's really fun is when you tell people that it's Saturday morning where you're at.
That's right. Yeah, it's actually 10 a.m. here Saturday morning. So I'm kind of in the future, right?
That's right. That's right. Where's the DeLorean at?
Pardon?
Where's the DeLorean?
I can't really tell you. Right.
Have you seen Back to the Future? Have you seen all those movies?
I've seen it a while ago, so I haven't. Yeah, I don't really remember what happened. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I have not watched it either, but I still remember that movie like the back of my hand. And every time I think of time travel, a lot of people they always think of Doctor Who.
Oh,
And
yes.
I'm always thinking about Marty McFly, when it comes down to time travel.
Yes, yes.
But I thought about that today because I saw a picture that Haley Bennett took of herself, and it looked like she was in London. And right next to her, I wasn't sure if it was a shop or it was a phone booth.
Okay.
I don't know if they have phone booths still in London, but it looked like she was standing next to a red phone booth. And
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say, wow, she's standing next to a TARDIS machine. And I was like, that would be so cool. But I don't know. I don't know if it's if it's a store or a phone. I don't. Do you guys have public phones still in Australia?
Very few. Like you have to go search for it. I don't really see it that often, but there's a few left. Yes.
Yeah, we don't have that many either.
Mm,
No, they've all slowly vanished.
yeah, I think so. Mm.
I'm not so necessarily sure that was a good idea, because a lot of times maybe you're running from somebody you don't have a phone, and maybe you need to get somebody there now. Like, you could always call off a payphone. You could always call 911. You didn't need any money,
Mm.
and that was a good thing. But
Mm.
it doesn't seem to be having any phones. But you guys don't have that much crime down in Australia, though, do you?
Um, I mean, I guess we do, but not as much as the States, maybe, because, obviously we're much smaller. Um,
No.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, but
No, no,
definitely.
no. Now, what city do you call home?
I live in Sydney.
Sydney. So that's the capital.
Um, Actually, Canberra is the capital, but most people think Sydney is the capital. But yes, yeah,
Which one has that really cool the auditorium?
yeah, Sydney, like the
Okay,
opera.
see? Yeah, that's the
That,
only see,
yeah,
I
yeah,
just I remember seeing that because every time they show Australia, they always show that building, so you're like, like, "Oh, okay."
yes, yeah,
Now you no, I was looking at your IMDb and you've been busy. You've actually you got a lot of credits underneath your underneath your belt.
yeah,
And you got a few more coming up. And you told me that you were thinking about coming to the States. Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was really surprised by that. What made you what part of the United States are you going to be trying to come to? Are you going to be trying to come to Los Angeles or Atlanta, Georgia?
Yeah,
Where do you plan on going to?
California, yeah, LA, yeah,
You
mm,
do know LA burned down pretty much, right?
yes,
Oh,
yes,
I'm gonna say you're a brave soul to come out in Los Angeles. Um, Yeah, I was pretty stunned by that, and we all were. We were just, it was just
yeah.
so different. Yeah, nothing you could do about it.
That's
Unpreventable.
right. Yeah, yeah. Mm,
Despite what you may hear by misinformed um, but there was nothing that could have been done to stop that. Um,
mm-mm.
mm. Now I'm just curious. Now, how does one transfer from Australia to California.
Yeah, so
Are
it's been.
are you doing that by yourself, or do you have management? Do you have a manager or a booking agency? How does that work?
Yeah, so I was in the States last year. I was there to film a production, and during that time, I met like an agent over there, and a production company, and they wanted to sort of be a sponsor for me to come over there. So they are like my sponsors. I still need to, obviously come up with the funds and everything, like to pay for the visa, but I need someone to be on the paperwork, so they're gonna do that for me. And in the last 6 months, I've actually been gathering a lot of information, like documentation together. It's a very lengthy process. I need to provide so much stuff. So I've got everything together now, and everything's all submitted to my lawyer. And the last process is for her to actually submit the application. It's called a O1 visa. It's an actors O1 visa, so it's specifically for people that wants to do acting, and it's up to 3 years. Yeah.
Wow, I'm just thinking, we have had, God, you can't even help but get around it. You just got to go ahead on through it. But we've had a new president come in, and
Oh, yes.
he is not very open to to he says illegals, but I think anybody. Um,
Mhm.
I'm just curious to see. I'm curious to see how long it will take for your request to be approved.
You
Um,
know, um, it's like, because I've already the last 6 months I've prepared so much documentation, and I think people will be shocked to hear what I actually needed to provide. I had to provide 9 letters of recommendation. That's, from different people. 9. I had 2 letters of intent. That's, places that offer me jobs. I had to provide resume. I had to provide awards that I've won with my films. I had to provide over 15 interviews. I had to provide podcast. I had to provide pretty much everything. And like I said, it's been a very stressful and lengthy process. And now that I finally got everything through, now I need to come up with the money because it's look, the express process, it's another additional $3,000 more. I got the invoice from my lawyer. It's like 7,800. That's including the express process, and I've already paid, like, that's before I already paid $2,500 retainer. So there's 7,800 on top of that. So I only got that 2 days ago. I freaked out, Patrick. I just, it was so stressful. So I have to do the not express process, which can take up to 8 months. Express process is only taking up to 14 days. The other route that I'm doing, it's up to 8 months, but I have no choice because there's no way I can come, like $7,800 right now. But I'm not gonna give up because
No,
I so hard. I've, just to get everything together. It's been a, and it's my dream to go over there to do acting. So there's nothing gonna stop me. It's gonna take it longer, but and I believe that whatever God has planned for me, He will lead the way. So, but it's definitely my plan to go over there. Yeah.
I'm impressed with what Australia has done already, as far as their film industry goes. I think people sleep on it, myself over here, but you guys make a lot of great TV shows and movies. I'm so blown away by what I see. I just got I got a series I got from my library.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you what I got, because I never heard of the show at all.
Yeah.
Um, I never heard of it, and then I started seeing pieces of it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
People are starting showing clips, and it's a series called Mr. In Between.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't seen it, but I have heard of that. Yes.
I never heard of it either, and then I started getting then people started I saw clips of it at on the tube,
Yeah.
and then I went to the library because I go to the library Tuesday, and because I collect films. So, and then it was sitting there. So they were selling the first season for 25 cents. And I'm
Oh
just like, man, I rarely get a chance to get anything Australian or New Zealand like.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so rare. But you guys have some great talent down there.
Yeah.
I talk a lot of, we talk a lot of Australian cinema. Um, like one of my favorite movies I ever saw, probably the first movie that I remember seeing that was like I knew it was Australian, was probably Priscilla, Queen of the Desert,
Oh yes.
and
I haven't.
then Mad Max.
Mm.
I think everybody got introduced to Australian cinema through the Road Warrior, with Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah.
Um, now you are you're Taiwanese and Australian. What is it? How did that happen? Was it your mom? Is your mom Australian? Your dad Australian?
No,
Or vice versa?
so I'm Taiwanese. Like both my mom and dad's Taiwanese,
Okay.
and I grew up here in Australia. So I consider myself obviously Australian because I do hold the Australian passport. So yeah, I yes, it's like that's where the Taiwanese Australian comes from because I sort of lived here all my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you can definitely hear the Australian in your accent.
Yes.
That's the I could hear it I could hear it crystal clear. So what got you into the world of acting? I I know we're talking about Australian cinema, but it's not that big. It's for the country size, it's sort of small, isn't it? The film industry.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I've always wanted to be an actor since I was a little girl. I saw Titanic with my mom, and I think that's definitely where I began to think, okay, that's what I want to do. I want to be an actor. However, I didn't really pursue it till much later on. So I started acting late 2019. So only a couple of years ago. Um, I was going through a really, really bad breakup. And I was just, at a place where I thought my world was ending. And I decided that I wanted to do something that I've always wanted to do, but I've just never tried. So I started going to acting classes, and that's how my acting journey began. Yeah.
What was it like for you the first time you went into class? I mean,
I
you know,
was Yeah, it was very scary. I was very nervous. I didn't know what to expect. Yeah, it was very nerve-wracking, but everybody was very friendly. I had a great coach, and after the first class, the second, the third, yeah, I just never really looked back. And I think choosing to do what I truly love is the best decisions I've made in my life. One of the best decisions. Yeah.
now, was there anybody that inspired you, whether it be in your in your personal life or watching them work on the big screen or the small screen? Was there who were some of the inspirations that you looked up to?
Mm, so for myself, I really one of the biggest inspiration was Lucy Liu growing up. Someone that's on screen. Um, so definitely she was like someone that I could see that resemblance, like myself. So that I really looked up to her, because I think growing up in Australia here, it's not much of a diverse sort of in terms of entertainment industry. So didn't really see anyone here, but definitely Lucy Liu was one of the big names that I looked up to. Michelle Yeoh as well. I really really liked her as well. So that's sort of more for like celebrities or like film actors that I looked up to. Definitely those people. Yeah.
Definitely, you definitely picked some winners there. I love those. I love both those ladies, Michelle
Yeah.
Yao and it's funny too. It's like I'm looking back at this and watching the James Bond movies, and all the girls are always come out there sort of slinky and they always call them Bond girls.
Yes. Yeah.
Michelle Yao was never identified as that.
That's right.
Because she was badass. She wasn't just no eye candy. She was yeah, she was his equal.
That's right. Yeah.
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 I remember watching that. I remember watching that and going like, I don't hear them calling her that. I don't
No.
hear her call, blonde girl, like and walk
Yeah.
around sneaky. No, she's I mean some of the pictures I've seen her, like she's ready to she's James Bond. If they decided to do a female James Bond, she would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Um, and Lucy Liu, of course, love her to death. I think
Mm,
she is so talented. I think she's wickedly talented.
def-
Good model, good role models. I mean, good acting. If I wanted to be an actress, just an actress, I couldn't think of very many. I couldn't think of very many females that I would pick over those two. I mean, they're
mm,
just extraordinary. They're extraordinary.
no.
Um, so that's good though. It's good that you had them as a role model because that they work really hard. You don't see their names in the newspaper. Like
Mm,
in the gossip columns. That
that's
means
right.
they're just there doing what they need to do and living their lives. And that's what. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Um, what were some of your favorite movies growing up, that you really liked that were besides Titanic? I mean, you mentioned Titanic, but what other movies did you watch that said, I want to try doing something like that? Like, I mean, I know a
Yeah.
lot of people saw Titanic, but I'm not so sure I would want to fall off the boat. You know.
Well, definitely. Well, Titanic is definitely the movie that made me want to be an actor. But I think things like Charlie's Angels. I really love that. Um, what else? I love Twilight. uh,
How cute is that? Okay, that's all
yeah.
right. I know. You know what? I think more and more. I do think this is true. I think sometimes movies come out that people laugh at, right? Like Twilight. But I think as the years go by, I think when there's other movies that come out that are worse, I think people come out there and they look at Twilight and they give it a second chance and they end up liking it.
Well, I love Twilight. I love Twilight. Twilight is one of the movies that I actually went and watched in the cinemas 5 times.
Oh, okay.
Love
Yeah.
Twilight so much. I actually read all the books as well, so I was a big fan, definitely. But I think there's also a lot more films that's like a smaller production people might not even heard of. That really the stories were really touching. I'm not sure whether you're aware of the movie called Crash. Um,
There's
yeah,
two Crash, the one with the ensemble cast, which I think that's the one you're talking about the I think that's the one with all the stars are in it. And then
yes, I
there's David Cronenberg's Crash, and I don't think you're talking about that one.
saw the one. Yeah, yeah, the first one. But yeah, I think and even now, like within the last couple of years, there's definitely series and films that's like still so inspiring. That makes me want to keep doing what I do. Yeah. Yeah.
How now when you went to class and you went to acting class and you're working there the first time through, um, what was it like for you the first time you had to work with a scene partner? I mean, not just get up there by yourself and do a scene, but
Yeah.
actually go out there and work with a scene partner. What was it like for you? What do you remember most from it?
Um, I just remember like the experience was very enjoyable. Like obviously I was nervous, but I really enjoyed it. Um, I think when I'm doing acting is I feel like the happiest when I'm doing it. So I felt really, yeah, I was very nervous because obviously you have the whole class, including the teacher, looking at you. But I really enjoy my classes. Every week I look forward to go to those acting classes. You know,
Right.
yeah, yeah, and I met
Now,
met like one of my best friends as well. In the class as well. Yeah.
that helps. That helps when you have a friend in there.
Definitely.
Then you can run lines together and talk about the roles together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always think that's a really, I always whenever I talk to an actor, it's one of the things I like to ask is like, what do you do? Where do do you guys get together after out of class? Do you guys meet up and have coffee and talk about talk about class, talk about roles and scripts and all that? I mean, do you
Yeah.
do that with your friends? Do you get together and have a coffee and then talk about class and what was the reaction of your friends when you told them that you were going to make a run for Los Angeles? Um, did they?
I haven't actually told that many people. Only a few selective people know, but I guess yeah. I mean, it's always my. It's always that was always the final destination that I was gonna go over there to do acting. I've always known that um America is where I want to be. So I think like 2 years ago, I moved to Sydney from Brisbane. So originally, I grew up in Brisbane. That's another city in Australia. And 2 years ago, I left my job, packed my clothes, and I drove to Sydney. It took me 10 hours to follow my dream of acting. And I think now it's that next step. It's for me to go to the States, go to LA, and to do what I truly love. I feel that there's just going to be more opportunities for me over there in terms of diversity, in terms of, yeah,
I think so too. I'll be honest with you. I think so too.
yeah.
But I don't think in Los Angeles. I don't think Los Angeles. I think he'd be better off going to Georgia.
I think,
That's
look, as long as I get my visa, I don't mind where I go. I just need the visa first, right? So, I think I've just been praying for God to lead the way, and that's all I can do right now. And wherever I go, I know it's going to be in the States. I just need to work out, I've got project that's coming up over in LA. That's why I'm going over there first, basically. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, it's just that LA has just taken such a beating the last year. It's like, you had two strikes, you had COVID, you had two strikes, now you had this fire.
Mm,
Um, and you have basically the landscape of American entertainment is shifting. Um, you know, we're seeing it. We're seeing it over here. The networks that we know, the linear networks as we know them, they're
mm,
just slowly collapsing. It's the future is streaming, and it's going to be streaming. Um, and it's just going to be, I think it's going to be such a weird dynamic now, as far as for actors, as far as getting roles and what have you,
mm,
before. Yeah, so, but the good thing is that you were invited to come over. That's important. That's really important, because it's like, I know a lot of actors that are moving over here or want to move over here, but they haven't been asked to move over here, and I think that's really important too. You
mm, mm.
have. No, that's important. I mean, someone, you're on somebody's radar, so they want that to happen. I
Yeah.
just feel like, between LA and all the fires and all the debris and all that just damage and destruction,
Mm,
it's just going to take a long time for it to recover to
mm.
where it's, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Um,
Yeah.
hopefully I'm wrong. I'd love to be nothing more than come back here and talk to you in about a year or so, and have you say, I'm working. I'm on a show, and I'm doing what I want to do. I would love nothing better than that. And I'd love to be proved wrong. I just have a bad feeling about it. Like, man, I just can't even imagine what it's like over there right now. And then, the funny thing is too. Here's the weird thing. It's it's already out of the news cycle. I mean, we don't even talk about it anymore. It raged for a whole week and a half, 2 weeks, and the fire is over with, and we really don't even talk about it anymore because it's
Mm,
already over with. It's so weird. Um, so Brisbane. Now Brisbane. Now, did it have does it have an acting community too? Do you, like Sydney? How big is the acting community in Sydney? Do you see people? How do you find out where the work's at?
so
If
I have
someone,
a yeah, so my agent, sends me auditions and stuff like that. And I do, also create opportunities for myself. Like I work very hard. Um, Sydney's film industry is definitely bigger than in Brisbane, because Sydney is much bigger. Yeah, uh, but definitely I think I do a lot of also social media promotions and stuff like that. So how people sometimes will approach me instead of finding a job. They will come to me and they say, hey, do you want to be in this project? My agent also put in the work for me as well. And yeah, so it's quite exciting because I've got an audition directly from the States, and that's why my agent and I worked out this strategy that the approach for me is going to be different. So and hence also a decision of going to the America as well. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're gonna have to, any project that you get, they're gonna have to, the first thing they have to do is they're gonna have to pay your freight. Like, we want you to come over here. Oh, okay, that's great. You got to pay my way. You got to pay me to fly over there. You got to pay for me to stay.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. So
uh,
I have my agent, he looks after all of that, which is
good,
amazing.
good. You got a good agent,
Yeah, I have.
and yeah, because I'm sure you get a lot of. I'm sure your agent gets a lot of people sending you scripts, and probably fair share from the United States. But the fact of the matter is, what does it really matter if they send you the script, as long as unless they have the budget to hire that talent? Oh, we
Mm,
really want her in the movie, but we can pay her $400 a week. Yeah,
mm.
it's not working.
No, right.
No.
Yeah, definitely have the budget for it. Yeah.
So, what part of the business do you like a lot? Are you a big fan of auditioning? Do you like doing live auditions, or do you like doing the taped auditions?
I prefer live auditions. But for the last couple of years, all the audition has been, more predominantly self-tape auditions. But definitely because of after COVID, everyone sort of, just do self-tape audition. But I definitely like in-person audition a bit more because you get to meet, the people that's watching you on the other side. So yeah.
Uh, our friend Tom mentions James Caan, actor James Caan said that about him working with other actors. Acting on a movie is like a traveling circus. Once it's over, we go our own way. Yeah, that would be James Caan. He definitely rode his own pony. That's for sure. Uh, I personally feel networking is more valuable. I think networking and working with each other, staying in touch with each other. I think as far as acting goes or movie making goes, I think it's much better to. I like it better when people work together, and maybe yeah, I do. I think it's better. I mean,
Definitely.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. Because you work with somebody on a project, and then maybe who knows, maybe 3 weeks down the line, maybe they're auditioning for something, and there could be a role, something that, hey, I bet you Gemma would like that. Let me go ahead and give her a call, and you vice versa. Hey,
Yeah.
maybe my friend Joe would like to see that. Maybe he sounds like he'd be a good fit for it. Let me give him a call, see if
Yeah.
he see if he, see if he can get an audition. Um,
Definitely. I think
uh,
Oh, sorry. You go.
go ahead.
So I think it's good that I totally agree with you because right now one of the project that I'll be working on, which is my agent is negotiating the contract right now, it's from somebody that I've met last year when I went to the States. Just by chance, I ended up at this film premiere and I met the director, producer, and the writer, and it's like almost like a year later they got this project and now they're approaching my agent because they want me to be in this film. So it's amazing what networking can do for you. And if you keep in contact with the people that that you network with, you just never know what can come about. So I definitely think it's very important to keep networking as an actor. Hmm.
What type of roles have you gotten so far? What primarily type of roles do you get? Do you get the doctor roles, or you get the scientist roles? Have you?
Yeah, I feel like it's all sorts of different roles. But since you mentioned Doctor, there's gonna be a web series. It's called Doctor Elizabeth B. Hocus. And I play her, but she is more like a love doctor. So it's quite interesting. It's quite comedy, and she gives the best advice about love. So you guys should look that up. But no, the roles I get, it's pretty like sometimes I don't know what the last film I was just finishing up, it's called Streets of Deceit. I played a bar attender but who was in charge for a gangster. Like she was in charge for the bar for this gangster boss. That was the last role I'd had. And the other project I was an AI, like an AI character.
Oh,
Like
okay.
yeah, like a robot kind of character. And yeah, sometimes I get to play. It's different. I think thinking back, like Blue Falcon, I was an agent, like a almost like a spy. So yeah, all sorts of different roles, I guess. Yeah.
Now is Blue Falcon. I saw that. That's what I actually put down as one of your latest projects. Now is that an Australian TV series? Have you worked at any TV series, or have all your work been features?
So Blue Falcon is actually American film. So I filmed over there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So most of my project has been short films and feature films. There is a series that I worked on. it's more for like what do you call online streaming. That one is called Mystica, so that's more like a series, like different episodes.
I've heard of that one. I've heard of Mystica. Oh gosh,
Yeah,
that's been around for a while now.
Mystica. So yeah, so it's different, like all kinds of different stuff, but mainly films, I would say, feature films and short films. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, gosh, Mystica. I think that's I think I've have heard of that. Let me see.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, TV series. Yeah, I think that's been okay. Uh,
Yeah.
let me see. I'm sure I've seen it before.
Uh,
There was one that okay, see if this is the same one. Well,
might be a
this is a pilot. Oh, okay. There was a series of movies called Mystica that
uh,
Kevin Sorbo did.
no, that not
Mm,
that one. I didn't
no,
work
no. Okay.
on
Okay.
one. So,
I was gonna say that would be really cool. I think it was like medieval, swords and sorcery type of deal.
okay, no, the Mystica I worked on, it's more like mystery, solving the problems, and is it supernatural? Is it just scientifically like
Uh,
that kind of yeah.
okay. I'm all right with that. Sort of like an X Files type deal.
Kind of, yes, exactly. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Um,
Uh-huh.
now, how does that work out? It seemed like I have talked to a few Australian actors, and they always gone through the soap operas. I know soaps are pretty big in Australia, like Home and Away. Is that was a Home Away or something like that? There's like
Wait,
three or four. There's like three or four uh, huge soap operas in Australia. Have you been cast in any of those?
no, I have not. No, I
No,
have.
not yet. Just wait. It'll happen. It seems like everybody does it. It's like, have you done that yet? No, but wait, just wait. It'll happen. Um,
I think. Look, I think for me, it's just different sort of paths. I know most actors go through, like most Australian actors, they will go on shows like that, Home and Away, Neighbours, and then they do their
Neighbor.
thing. But for me, it's definitely a different. I think everybody have different journey, different path. And hence the urgency of me going to the States. It's
Right.
because yeah, it's just because the diverse in Australia, it's different um compared to the States. Yeah. So, and you
Now,
see a lot of that reflecting on the TV shows that you've just mentioned. But I don't want to say too much because I don't really want to offend anybody. But
no, no, not at all. I think those shows are. Personally, I think that yeah, actor Guy Pearce started in an Australian soap opera. Yeah, you know what? It's same thing with Great Britain. Um, Great Britain, the same thing. People start off, they go right through those. To me, it's great training.
there's
You know,
definitely
you get to go on. If someone says we want you to go on, a home and away or away from home or
yeah,
yeah, take it. I mean, I would definitely take it. I mean, it's a great way to, it's just like working in the States. You're gonna go onto a big set with a lot of
yeah,
professionals, and you're gonna need to know what you're doing.
definitely.
You know, so yeah. Is TV and movies are they still popular in Australia? I mean, do people still go there a lot? I mean, over here we're always talking about how people don't really go to the theaters that much and what have you. Have
Yeah,
have you have you have you noticed that in Australia that people have, like theaters either have closed or there's just not much on TV anymore? As far as original movies go, original series. Have you noticed that yourself?
I think so. I think people now do online, stream, watch the network, like Netflix or Stan or Disney, that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely. I don't think as many people are going to the film like to theater anymore, but still around. Yeah.
Because we heard that about a year ago, we heard that Disney was no longer going to be they weren't going to be selling Blu-rays or DVDs anymore in Australia. I
Oh
guess
wow.
I guess the demand wasn't there for it, but they were no longer going to be servicing Australia. Um, like if you go around shopping, is it hard for you to find? Is it hard for you to find movies
Definitely.
in your stores? Is it hard to find?
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw a DVD.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting question. Maybe today when I go out, I'll have a look to see where I can find one. Yeah.
Right, right. Now, do you have your own personal collection of movies yourself?
I did, but when I moved to Sydney, I didn't take it with me. I gave it all away. Yeah, when I moved over here. Yeah, because like I said, before Patrick, I literally just quit my full-time job, packed my clothes, gave all my furniture away, and I drove to Sydney for acting. So I
Right.
didn't, yeah. So I just didn't really look back on, but I did have a yes. Yeah.
What did your parents think about you doing that?
Well, look, my dad passed away when I was young.
Mm,
My mom has never since I was a little girl, I told her I want to do acting, but she sort of said, "Oh, it's impossible." And that kind of scarred me for a very long time. Hence, I didn't start to do acting till a couple of years ago. But my mom is now supportive. She understands that this is what I've got to do. So she's all she's all behind me now, and she's seen my work, and she's proud of it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's cool. I like it when the parents back up back up their children. You know,
Mm.
like
Now,
go ahead and chase your dream. You
yeah,
know.
now she is. I think because I think that you know what happened when I was younger. Remember, I said to you, I watched Titanic with my mom, and I kind of say to her, "Oh, I want to be an actor," and she was like, "You'll never make it because you're just not pretty enough. You will never play a lead. It will just never happen for you."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so like, look, even just saying that out loud, it's throwing some emotions for me, right? But what I'm trying to say is that so throughout my journey, there's so many things that internally I needed to overcome to
Right.
myself to do acting. So now those voices in my head, it it only strengthens me for what I do with my craft.
Right.
So that along with the breakup, along with just everything that's happened in my life, um so that's why now I know I have a very clear vision of what I want to do as an artist, and how I'm going to get there. And I understand that it's not a short-term race, it's a marathon, but I will take the time and I will get there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Why not? Why the hell not? I don't see any reason why not. I mean, if you can get over to the States and you got the drive, I mean, that's definitely you got the drive. And I'm sorry to your mom, but she's wrong. I mean, I'm looking at you now, and it's like, why couldn't you play a leading lady? You got the looks for it. Yeah, you're gorgeous.
Patrick.
Yeah. I'm saying, I'm going like, man, this is just, yeah, she's beautiful.
Thank
Yeah, and there's nothing, unless, like, unfortunately, that happens. I'm sure you probably have run across a little bit of that in auditions. Hopefully not so. Have you run into any stereotyping, when they want you to play a cook or a maid or stuff like that? Or yeah,
you know
or it looks like all your roles have been very diversified. Like you're playing a scientist, you're playing an agent, secret agent. I mean, it's like you're playing all sorts of cool roles. I mean, how
yeah,
I'm not,
but they also the rules that my agent and myself had to be very creative in terms of finding those roles. But like I said, this is gonna be, I don't know whether this is gonna be it's gonna be a very interesting comment. But look, I've been stereotyped cast before a lot of times. I've been told by casting directors that you don't look Asian enough, or the other way. And for me, it's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm Taiwanese, I'm Asian. But so again, like I said, the diverse is just not here. And hence I'm like really wanting to go to the States because I've worked so hard. Like you said, there's 22 projects under my IMDb now since I started acting in 2019. I haven't stopped. I've been hustling so hard. But yes, stereotyping casting happens all the time, Patrick. Yes.
Um, I have a friend of mine who's in the business as well, and she's also Chinese, and they told her that she didn't look Chinese enough, and then she broke out in flawless Cantonese and Mandarin. That ended that right there. So it's like, well, you don't look Chinese. Well, I don't know what's a Chinese supposed to look like, you
Exactly,
know?
exactly. Yeah,
And
yeah,
what's it supposed to look like? I mean,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
So
that's not a very good casting director who does that. A person will be able to make can fit into any role. Um,
ah,
you know, it's true. It's true. It's like we were talking about Michelle Yao.
mm,
Nobody saw Michelle Yao as Asian. Nobody saw her as Asian. No one saw her as a sex symbol. You know,
mm,
like a Bond girl.
mm,
Everybody saw her as an action heroine. Like she's a
mm,
hero. That's how people, you know, most of the time that's how we see Michelle. You know, we
mm,
see Michelle and like, you know, like it's like the last. She'd be like the last one of the last people I could think of doing a romantic role. Not that
mm.
she couldn't do it. Not that she couldn't do it, but she hasn't done it. In all the movies I've seen her in, she's done everything but that. Right? She's done everything but that. She's done drama. She's done comedy. She's done
Mm,
but the one thing she hasn't, you know, so yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think you should. No, I don't like stereotyping. I like to think you know, I can close my eyes and I can see, you know, because this, you know, that's what people do. They close your eyes and like, I can see you playing. I can see you playing. I can see you playing a, you know, playing a Lucy Liu part. Hell yeah, why not? She's badass. But I could also see you playing. I could also see you playing a Nicole Kidman spot. You know, badass as well, right? Um, uh, is it hard for? Is it hard? Was it really to move to LA? What's the main reason for it? Is it just because you want to expand your horizons, or is it because the Australian movie industry is so logjam? It's just like it has a few big stars in it, and there's no room for any up and rising stars. Is that part of it? A part of the reason why you're going to take a shot at LA is because it's very hard to get meaningful roles in Australia.
I feel like I don't want to upset anyone by answer this question. I'm just gonna say that definitely has part of the reason why. Look, I feel that Americans they're willing to take risk on new people, and that's how new talents are discovered, and that's what my experience has been like when I was over at the States. Um, because I feel like people would, would be interested to hear about who you are, about your story. And like I said, right now the contract that my agent's working under, it's from somebody that I've met, in the States. And throughout the years, I've had auditions. Big parts, majority comes from the States, directly from US casting directors. So that's part of like why I am going over there. Yeah, I just feel like there's definitely going to be more opportunities. And I feel like that's where I'm meant to be. Yeah.
Right, right.
Mm.
See, Tom mentions many famous actors said it was luck. But what is luck? I think I think I think it's luck. I think luck is opportunity. You know, as opportunity that one, you know, takes advantage of. You know, you make your own luck.
Right, you create.
Remember that's what David Warner said on Titanic. He says, you know, I make my own luck, and he says, now we're talking
Yeah,
Titanic.
create.
He says, "I'll make my own luck." He has that gun in his hand.
Uh-huh.
That's uh, I agree. what, what was it? What was it like? What was the project that you worked in Los Angeles? What was the name of the project that you acted in?
It's called Zalia, Zilia. It
Okay.
should be that's the robot one. That should come out towards the end of this year. That's the feature film. So I play Zalia. Zalia is the basically the AI robot. It's very interesting film. This man who lack of confidence created this AI character to help him to boost his confidence and to teach him kind of like how to talk to women, how to dress, and that kind of stuff. As he started getting dates with humans, there's been a glitch with the AI. So then the AI started sabotaging the relationships, and she turned really bad. Yeah, she tried to take over basically. Yeah.
So, definitely, definitely science fiction.
Yes, that's right. Yes, yes.
Mega City Media, welcome in, welcome in. You're new to me. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. We're talking with Australian actress. How do I say? How am I saying your name?
Yeah, J Ma. Yeah.
Okay, so it is. I got it right. Wow. I got it right. All these names, and I'm like, I always get them wrong, but I said J-Ma, so I did get it right. So we're talking with actress J-Ma, and talking about her big move to Los Angeles, or stateside. We'll see where it goes to.
Mhm.
There's a lot to see here. How long was your first stay over here? Um,
Um,
in,
I've been
in,
to the
uh,
States a couple of times now. I think I've been there like 3 times, but the last time I was there, I was like there for 4 weeks. Yeah,
yeah.
but like mainly I was just working. That's all. Yeah. Mm.
What did you like about the States? I mean, what were some of the biggest differences that you noticed between working here and working in Australia?
Oh, definitely. I feel like people are very supportive. Over in the States, I feel like people are. Oh my gosh, I feel Patrick. I feel really like I don't know how to answer these questions because I feel like I'm gonna offend people here in Australia.
You're not
That's
gonna
why.
offend, you're not gonna offend anybody. If they have a problem, that's their problem. It's not yours.
No, it's just
You're not naming names. We're not
no.
putting you there.
Yeah,
You know what? You're good. You are crushing this interview. You're
uh,
doing very well. So,
like
uh,
yeah, yeah. I just look. I personally, from what I've experienced, I just feel that when I was in America, I feel like people are more open. People are more like I said, they will give a new talent a shot. If you don't have
yeah,
a name, if you're good at what you do, they will take on the risk. Whereas Australians, they're more reserved. They more That's why you see the same people over and over again, because they're very reserved. So that's the biggest difference. It's almost like you have to make it in America for the Australians to take a chance on you. But look, that's just my experience because
your
I'm sure.
experience it's just the same for. I mean, I've heard the same story. I've also asked the same question, especially in the UK. And
Yeah.
the UK has the same problem.
Mm,
I'm sitting, and that's one that, to me, it's like it's as a cinephile, as a fan. I
yeah.
like I like Dame Maggie Smith. I like Dame Judy Dench. I think they're great talents. But good Lord, step aside. You can't do everything. When I saw Maggie Smith and Judy Dench, they did a movie where their characters were supposed to be in their early 40s,
Yes.
and both their ladies were in their 70s.
Mm,
And it's like, are you trying to tell me that you could not get two other younger actresses that maybe could use the break You could not find two other younger actresses to come in and play those roles, age appropriate roles. You had to get out there and drag Judy Dench and back, drag Maggie. It's frustrating as a film person who loves watching films. It's
Yeah.
frustrating because every time there's a movie in Australia coming out, what are we, every time over here, all we hear is we hear Hugh Jackman, and we hear about Nicole Kidman. There's a lot of great talented actresses and actors in Australia. Tremendous. We mentioned Guy Pearce, mentioned Scott Ryan from In Between. I never heard that guy's name at all. I never heard his name at all.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, I was like, I had to find out through YouTube. But
Yeah.
that's sort of messed up. That's sort of messed up that we had to find out about these people through that because we're not, this show came out, and over here in the United States, our shows generally last between 22 to 24 episodes a season. That's a long time for someone to get to know somebody, right? Like, okay,
Right.
this
Yeah.
guy, this guy got here, his first season, 6 shows. How the hell are you gonna break that out? How the hell are you gonna break out and become a household name or get bigger roles when you're being locked down in small roles? So, by all means, speak your mind. I encourage it, and and it's like I think casting directors is really to them. Casting directors, they need to do a better job by you guys. They got to realize that when they're casting a project, they don't always need to just go there and look at the phrase and say, "Well, is Hugh available for this, or is Nicole available for
Mm-mm.
this?" No, they need to look over there and bring out the book because there's a lot of actors that would love to act. Uh, so no, you're not getting anybody in trouble. You would be more in trouble by not saying it than saying it, in my
Mm-mm.
opinion. So
Yeah.
no, I'm proud of you. No, speak up,
Oh, no,
speak your
but
mind.
that's the reason. That's pretty much, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because even like my agent is saying sometimes, like, yeah, people just don't get the equal opportunities at all, and that's the main thing. Yeah. But like I said, we all got to create our own opportunities, so yeah. Yeah.
Mega City Media, like I said, he's new to me. Um, or he or she's new to me. Says, what's your favorite film genres and favorite films? I believe Mega City is either from England or from Australia, or maybe even Canadian, because they spelled favorite that way. Um, yeah, let's talk about films. Yeah, we can do that. We talked about film genres. How about this? Have you done anything that has required you to do makeup? Have you done any horror films yet? Have you done any, scary movies yet? You know, is that something that would intrigue you?
Um, I did one little short film. It's called Deranged, and then they had to do special makeup on me. Yeah, I was like infected human, like almost like a zombie kind of thing. Yeah, that was interesting. But besides that one, I haven't done anything, like horror and stuff. But definitely, I'll definitely interested. This is so funny. I'm actually very scared of horror films. In fact, I don't watch horror films. But if someone were
What?
to do a horror film, I'll be like, yes, no problem. But I would still be scared when I was
Uh-huh.
watching premiere and
You
watch.
don't you don't you don't watch any horror films? Uh-oh, we need let's see. Media says he's from the United Arab Emirates. Half English. There you go. See, I knew that. See, I knew there was a Brit here. A Brit. I knew it was going to be a Brit or an Aussie or a Canuck. Nice, nice. Okay, so now, so scary movies scare you then? That's
But
so. That's
I,
actually really cute. Uh,
yeah,
what what's the scariest movie that you watched?
oh my god. Okay, so this when I was younger, I love scary films. Actually growing up, I love Chucky. Do you remember Chucky the doll? I love
Oh
Chucky.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but as I grow older, I start to face, the truth. Because I think when I was younger, I was trying to act tough, so that people would think I'm strong and tough. But now I'm like, no, that's too scared. I think the scariest thing I've watched is probably called. Have you seen a movie called Hostel?
Oh
That's the
yeah, Eli Roth.
that's the film that literally turned me off all the horror films. I stopped watching after that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Um, sometimes with horror movies, uh, sometimes horror movies, they like for me, I remember watching Hostel too, and
Oh,
oh yeah,
right.
I was there, and it was what I remember most about that movie was it was mostly people who you didn't know. You didn't know the cast was pretty much unknown, except for one guy, and then when he came into the scene, like it was pretty tense. The movie was intense. Then you see this guy come through, and no fault of his. He's acting, but he comes through. As soon as you see his ass on the screen, you go from this like this, you go like this to like it's Rick Hoffman. Oh, okay, we're good. We're okay. It's not going to be that scary. Rick Hoffman's in it. he, he's a fine character actor, but he has one of those faces that you see him do everything. And so I think when it's like I think it's part about doing horror movies that make it work really well is a lot of them are done by people who haven't done a lot of movies. There a lot of actors get to cut their teeth on horror, and you don't know who they are. So whatever happens to happens, I think it causes people to be scared.
Yeah, that's it.
Like not like if we saw Nicole Kidman come out there and Chucky, we're not scared. It's like, okay, this is not going to be scary at all. Or the others. She did the others. It's like it's not scary at all. You're too big. You're too. In a sense, it's almost like you're too big of a star to carry it off because we all know who you are. I think for independent and horror films, I love the fact that a lot of times you don't know who they are. Then you go chase them down and see what roles they've done. Let's see. Let me go back here real quick. Let's see. So yeah. Chucky 2 Child's Play gave me nightmares as a kid. Yep. Let's see. Real suspense is about mood, not blood. I agree with that. The Changeling 1980. Mood and atmosphere. Yeah. Yeah, and some heavyweight actors. That's a great movie. Love that movie. I love the others. I wasn't. I was okay. Um, and then Mega City wants to know what made you become an actress. Um, Let me see if I can put a little twist on this for us. Since you answered that already. Um, what are some of the what are three things as an actress. What are the first time that you walked on a set, the first time you walked on a working set as a working actress? What three things did you take with you after that experience? What did you learn and take with you after that experience? The very
That
first time you.
that being so open about emotions, it's a very beautiful thing. When you portray a character, it's I think also being able to share a story, like whatever film that was, and to bring people together, to connect people together. That's the second thing that I truly felt happy with. And the third thing is just to, yeah, like just to see a film come together, like how everybody's working together. You've got the camera guy, you got the lighting guy, you got the sound guy, you got the director, the producer. Like it's so amazing to be able to see all that come together. Yeah.
Were you surprised to see how long it took for a movie to get made? I mean, go from shooting it to getting it on screen. Were you
Definitely.
surprised to see how long? Were you surprised to see how long it took?
Yeah, definitely. Like Streets of Deceit, the feature film that I'm in. I made it to the poster on that one, so I'm very happy as well. That one we filmed in 2021, and it's still due to release the end of this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's yeah, it takes a while. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
finding distributors is whew, that's a tough thing to do these days. To me, finding distributors that can get your movie out there to get seen. It's rough. It's a very competitive out there right now. It's not easy
Mm-mm.
like it used to be. I've seen a lot of movies. In fact, we were just talking about this the other day. They were talking about Insidious 6 they were supposed to be released this year. And they turned around and said, "Well, we're not going to release it till next year." That's a long time.
Right.
That's a long time for a movie to have to sit on the shelf and wait.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
right.
yeah. Um, how are you going to keep yourself? How are you going to keep yourself occupied when you come to LA? Do you have any? Do you have an idea where you'll be staying at? Will you, do you, will you, do you know? Did you make any friends when you were here before? Will you be able to hook up with them and share an apartment or anything like that? Or is this going to be?
Yeah, so when I go initially there, I'll be doing a film, so they will be putting up accommodation for me and all of that. So once that's finished, I will be staying with some friends that I've made when I was in LA. So initially that should be no problem until obviously I found my own place. But I'm not that I am definitely not I'm not afraid, I'm not scared, I'm more sort of excited because
Mhm.
look, like I feel like you're finding out so much more about me in this interview. It's that I came to Australia when I was only 13 years old, and I came by myself as an exchange student. And till this day I don't have any family here, like my mom is still in Taiwan. So what I'm trying to say is it's no different compared to when I was 13 years old, not being able to speak English, moving to a new country. This is fine. I can speak English. I know people in LA or like in USA. I know I'm okay. And with God by my side, I know that everything will work out. So yeah, I'm excited. I just need this to happen.
I think
you
it will. I think it will, and I think that I let's see. I do think that let's see. Oh, Mega City says, did you say you made the poster for Streets of the Sea? Um, and do you have any other creative passions besides acting? Do you like to write? Do you like to paint?
Yes.
What do you do for fun?
So I love roller skating. I like roller
Mhm.
skating. Yes. I do also write. During COVID, when when nothing was happening, I decided to. That was the first time I write my first short film. Um, and it was a story about two little girls. They were best friends. And they lost contact with each other. But during COVID, both of them were going through hard times. So one of them decided to try to find the other person on the internet, and they found each other, and they share video diaries of how each of their lives are, and throughout the process of helping each other they became okay. And the story for that, the reason for me writing that film was that I just wanted to share the message that we were all in that together, and that you're never alone, you know. So that's what I like to do. I like to create stories that is very meaningful, and impact people, because I think everyone has a story to be made, to be told, and stories brings people
Yeah.
together. So yes, I do like writing and roller skating. I love traveling as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mega City is in the United Arab Emirates, so he is actually. I'm sure he has seen a lot of flash and dash and Hollywood magic over in the UAE. Um, Roller skating is awesome. Yeah, you guys have right now it is it's summer where you're at, right?
so hot. I don't know whether you can see. I'm actually I'm sweating. That's what's happened to my hair. It's so hot here. I don't actually have aircon in my apartment, so it's really hot.
She's
Very
saying
humid.
it's hot. She's saying it's hot over here, and I've got a cap on, and I got a sweater on, and it is
I know it's so.
it's 21 degrees here right now. I couldn't even go get my trash can yesterday because the my driveway was frozen. It was a
Oh my!
sheet of ice.
I
And,
wish you can chuck some ice along the stream because I need it. I feel so trying to like fan myself like with a special effect of fan. See?
yeah, I definitely could use that because man, it hasn't snowed a lot over here, but it has definitely been very, very cold.
Oh,
Let's see. They had a little sandstorm yesterday in the United Arabs. A little cold for once. Yeah, yeah. That's an interesting part of the world as well. Um, all right, we have hit our dinger right here, so I'm going to go ahead and if you guys have any last questions for our guest, Ma, you're more than welcome to drop them in. We'll ask her. You don't mind answering a couple of questions they might ask that we've already talked about.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That's yeah.
let's see. Australian Naomi Watts sure became a big star. She's also started with TV. Yep. My favorite Australian actress for a long time. Actually, she's pretty cool too. She's based in LA, and it's Nikki Whalen. You ever heard of Nikki Whalen?
I think so, but I'm not gonna say I know her. Like I know of her stuff very well, but I have heard
Yeah.
of her.
She's Australian, but she's come over here and she's done a ton of movies since she's been here. She got her start with a movie called Hall Pass, and ever since then she's just taken off. She does everything. Yeah, she's and as far as acting goes, I'm trying to think of other Australian actors. Of course, Nicholas Hoult, I think, is Australian. Uh, maybe not. I thought he was, or maybe it was Will Poulter. One of those two, I think, is Australian. Terrence Stamp, of course. Um, I'm just thinking. There's so many great Australian actors that I know. Ryan Quatain, he's fun. He's a good actor. He did Knights of Badassdom, which is a hilarious movie.
Okay.
And Naomi, of course, as a big star. Yep, yep. All right, boys and girls, we will wrap this up by saying thank you to our guests for coming out and hanging out with us on a Saturday morning. I think that's really cool. That's one thing I really like about doing Australian interviews is I'm talking to someone who's in the next day. Um, we wish you good luck. We're gonna keep track of you, and definitely, then when you get ready to go to LA and land over there, we'll come back and do this again, and see how you like it, and just catch up with you. People want to know what you're doing, and we'll be happy to tell them. Um,
I just
uh,
want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you, Patrick. I really feel very blessed to be on here and just to have a chat, and it means a lot to me. Yeah.
sure. You asked about the questions, like send the questions. We're like, oh, she's gonna find out that she doesn't need any questions. Questions? We don't where we're going. We don't need any questions. That's right. That's from Back to the Future too. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Okay. uh, we will be back tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we'll be back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock. If you're around and you're awake and you can come out and hang out with us, we will be here tomorrow night with film director Michael Cassie. He and I will be doing a watch party for a movie called One Ranger, starring Thomas Jane and John Malkovich, and written and directed by Jesse V. Johnson. And we have ties to that movie, and the fact that I interviewed the man who scored it, Sam Murray, and Michael Cassie directed Thomas Jane in his werewolf movie Hunter's Moon. So we will be tomorrow night. We'll be here. Michael will be here with us, and we'll be watching One Ranger. looks pretty damn good. Jesse Johnson is a fine action director, and I pretty much will watch anything that he makes. He knows his way around the action, and that's all right with me. He's got another movie. Hopefully, we'll get him to come on here with us when it hits, called Chief of Station, and that will be with Aaron Eckhart. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk with Jesse sometime down the future about that movie. Thank you again to the chat. You guys were awesome carrying me along tonight. Tom, thank you so much. Mega City, feel free to subscribe to us. We would have you on. We'd love to have you on the team. And J-Moff, stay right where you at for 1 minute. I'm going to say goodnight to the guys in the chat, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock with Michael Cassie. Peace.